haven't even opened the packaging and I am already confused by this no count cross stitch kit. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby because it was on clearance for $4.99, and I've seen a lot of people doing this no count cross stitch. Since I found an inexpensive kit, I decided, hey, I might want to give this a try. It looks like it could be an easy project to work on nights when I don't want to do a lot of counting. I know I have seen a lot of these projects that come from sellers who are not creating their own original artwork, but I thought since I bought this one at a brick and mortar store that it would be okay. This one is by needleartworld.com, and I was curious because I've never heard of them. I went to the URL to see if they had other cross stitch kits available, and needleartworld.com goes to diamonddots.com, which makes diamond painting kits and is also a multi-level marketing company for diamond painting, which I have not heard good things about. I didn't find any cross-stitching on their website. I have a feeling this may be a company that I'm not super excited about. Their kits are for sale at Joann.com and Walmart.com and Amazon and some places I would have thought were reputable for selling kits. So I do not know about the credibility of this company. I own the kit. I think I'm going to stitch it because I own it, and I'm going to make this video in the spirit of not recommending them, but sharing my experience if you already have one. It is on 11 count Aida. It is like 17 inches square, and it is huge. I have a history of not looking at the project size before I leap into it, so that's nothing new for me. If you look at the fabric, the colors are printed really clearly. You can tell what you are going to be stitching where, and I love that. The colors on the printed fabric have zero in common with what the finished flower will look like. I've got pre-sorted floss, and I am going to give this a try and see if I like the process. I think it might make sense to start in the middle. Maybe not. I haven't done this before. I usually start my counted cross stitch in a corner. My plan was to wait to finish this video until I had finished the project and washed out the printed design so that I could have a clear idea of if I had enough floss, if these lines rinse out the way they're supposed to. Realistically, I am going to spend a very long time finishing this project, which means that that video might be 5 years from now, if ever. So I am going to finish this up with my opinions after quite a few hours of stitching, and I will do an update video when I ultimately finish this. The biggest surprise was how much I actually enjoy no count cross stitch. It surprised me. This flower is a pink dahlia. It is not my favorite subject matter ever, but I am really enjoying the process. I like no count cross stitch. There's some things I love about this kit and some things I don't love about this kit. The Aida feels really nice. All of the edges are serged, which I have never, ever seen in a kit. I'm not saying that some high-end cross-stitch kits don't do that. I just haven't encountered it before. What I don't like is the floss. Or what I am less enthusiastic about, maybe that's a better way of putting it. The floss is soft. It doesn't have that crisp substance that DMC or Anchor or the floss in Dimensions Gold Collection kits has. I don't know that it is thinner, but it's softer, and I've had a little more trouble working with it. It's not nearly as awful as the stuff in the Designworks kits I complained about in an earlier video. So let's say it's kind of middle of the road. I was also surprised. I'm stitching with 3 strands, which I've done 3 strands of different flosses on 11 count before. I've done 6 strands of DMC on 18 count in some Dimensions Gold Collection kits. I am having a hard time finding the hole. I don't know if the printed fabric closes up the holes a bit and makes it more difficult, or quite what is going on there. But it's slowing me down. And I don't like the way the floss looks. I am making a good faith effort here to make this project look nice, and my stitches just aren't laying the way that I'd like them to. Maybe that's me. You can see the grid lines through the finished stitches, and it is taking me a huge leap of faith to trust that this will all wash out in the end. My understanding is that that's how no count cross stitch is supposed to work. I saw a video produced by the company that assures me it will work that way. We'll just find out what happens, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not hurrying as fast as I originally was to finish this project. I also got a no count cross stitch kit that I like a whole lot better, so because of the subject matter. So I'm more excited about stitching it, and I'm doing this for fun. The other thing I've noticed, and this is probably a fault with me rather than the stitching, a couple of these colors were close enough to cause me confusion. This is like a dark charcoal gray, and this is a purple. In a couple of sections, I had to actually pull out my flashlight to determine which color was which. It does come with a printed pattern, so if you're careful enough, you can count your way over and figure out which is what, but it was a hassle. It would have been nice if they had been more distinctly different colors when they created the kit. And it's just in the center of the flower. Once I'm doing the rest of it, I am not having these problems. It's just one spot where those two similar colors are close enough to create confusion, and I'll work my way through it. Do I like this company's kits? It's okay. For the clearance price I paid for it, it's not a bad kit at all. Like I said, this is not my first choice in subject matter, and of course that is on me. I bought it because it was cheap and I wanted to try something new. Have you worked with a Needleart World kit? Would you recommend it? If you would or wouldn't, leave a comment and let me know why. If you are looking at Needleart World on Amazon, be really careful with the listings, because things that come up under embroidery, if you look closely at the picture, are diamond painting. So I think someone is playing with keywords to get higher in the search results, and I don't want anyone ordering something and not getting what they wanted. I am sure diamond painting is great. I haven't done it myself. I like no count cross stitch apparently, but you've got to read those descriptions to make sure you are getting what you hope you are getting, and do that with any of your cross stitch kits. Look at the size, look at the fabric count, look at whether it has a printed background. You want to avoid disappointment. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I've had fun with this. Overall, I would consider it to be a successful experiment.